Hello, friends. It was the beginning of June, and the scorching heat of the city had already made my school vacation unbearable. The walls of my house felt like they were melting, and the streets sizzled under the blazing sun. But as I sat beside the cooler sipping my mango juice, my father walked into the room with a smile that instantly changed everything. Pack your bags, he said. Tomorrow we are leaving for your grandmother's village. My eyes lit up. It had been over 2 years since our last visit, and the memories of that serene village, with its lush green fields, fresh air, and the innocent joy of life, still lived vividly in my mind. More than anything, I missed Dadi, my grandmother, with her soft, wrinkled hands, endless stories, and the smell of fresh parathas. We took the early morning train, and after a bumpy bus ride and a short walk through narrow dirt roads, we finally reached Sukhpur, my grandmother's village. The scent of mud, mangoes, and cow dung welcomed us like an old friend. As we entered the gate, I saw Dadi standing on the veranda, her white dupattas fluttering, a wide smile spreading across her face. Her silver hair glowed in the sun. She hugged me tightly. "Look how tall you have grown," she said. Behind her came Chacha, my father's younger brother, with his ever cheerful face. His wife, Chachi, followed along with their two children, Ariba and Bilal, who were around my age. We hadn't played together in years, but within 10 minutes it felt like we'd never been apart. My grandmother's house was a beautiful old structure made of brick and mud, with a big courtyard in the center, shaded by a huge neem tree. The tree had a wooden swing hanging from one of its branches, and Ariba and I immediately jumped on it. The house had no fan in some rooms, but the coolness of thick walls and the breeze from open windows kept it fresh. In the backyard, Dadi's hens clucked, and a cow tied near the barn mooed softly. At night, we didn't sleep inside. We dragged our charpais, woven beds, to the courtyard under a sky full of stars. I had never seen the moon so bright. The air was full of the chirping of crickets, and Dadi's stories carried us into sleep. The next morning, Chacha took us on a tour of the village. He called it Leave the City, Explore the Village. We jumped onto a bullock cart, and the tour began. The fields. We passed by acres of lush green wheat and sugarcane fields. Chacha showed us how the tube well worked. Water gushed out with force, and we all got drenched as he let us splash and play. There were also patches of bright sunflowers and a small orchard of guava and mango trees. The river bank. Further down we reached a small river, clear, calm, and cool. The village children were diving off rocks and swimming. Bilal convinced me to join. At first I hesitated, but soon I was laughing, splashing, and trying to race the village kids. Later in the afternoon, we went to the weekly village bazaar. It was bustling with color, spices piled high, fresh vegetables, clay pots, bangles, handmade toys, and the smell of jalebi frying in big pans. We all got bangles for Ariba, and I bought a handmade wooden flute. Chacha also took us to the old mosque, where he had prayed as a child. Next to it stood the village school, a small building with kids reciting loudly in unison. I noticed they had less, but they had joy in their eyes. They passed with so many little adventures. In the early mornings, Dadi would call us to help her in the kitchen. We'd grind spices on the stone grinder, churn butter, and make fresh roti. Chachi would make lassi in earthen pots, and the smell of fresh ghee filled the air. In the afternoons, we'd go to the mango orchard behind the house. Chacha had built a tree house there for us. Sometimes we'd just lie on the wooden platform, telling stories and eating raw mangoes with chili and salt. In the evenings, the villagers gathered under the banyan tree near the well. Elders told folk tales. Kids ran around playing kabaddi, and women sang traditional songs while doing embroidery. Once a local theatre group came and performed a funny play that made everyone laugh till tears rolled down their cheeks. One day, there was a wedding in the village. Chachi took us to see the decorations, the dhol playing, girls dancing in colorful dresses, and the aroma of biryani. We danced too, and the villagers clapped for us. City kids trying to keep up with their beats. Our 2 week vacation flew by. On the last night, I felt a strange sadness. The swing, the neem tree, the cow who now recognized me, everything felt like home. That night, Dadi sat with me under the stars. Beta, she said softly, you may live in the city, but never forget your roots. This soil, this sky, this love, it makes you who you are. I hugged her tightly, wishing I could stay longer. The next morning, everyone came to see us off. Dadi packed a basket full of guavas, pickles, and homemade sweets. Chacha gave me sling made of jute and told me to remember my village every time I saw it. As the bus drove away, I looked out the window. The neem tree was still swaying. Ariba and Bilal waved, their hands getting smaller in the distance. But my heart was full, not just of memories, but of a deep connection to a simpler, more beautiful world. That summer, I didn't just visit my grandmother's village, I became a part of it. Audience, I have a question for you. Have you ever been to your ancestral village? What memory from that place still lives in your heart? Tell us in the comments. Thank you.